What's going on, everybody? Thanks for coming in to watching the Mike Flair channel. I hope you've been enjoying the series that I've been making about how I got into IT, things that I learned along the way, and sharing some of my insights with the youth, middle age, or whoever wants to hear it. Because I learned, used to be one of those people that say, you didn't need education. You don't need a degree. But I'm here to tell you that my perspective has changed through life experiences and seeing things for myself as an individual. And I have 3 reasons on why education is important. First point, self-taught versus certified credentials. Self-taught means you learned it on your own without going to a school or a vocational place that certifies or gives you something at the end of that program that certifies that you went to school and learned the curriculum and now you're certified in whatever, whether it's a trade, whether it's a degree, whether it's in coding or anything in tech. You can be self-taught and you can be certified. And I got some things at the end that can kind of tie that together. Just depends on you, where you're comfortable. And it's like, do you want to climb Mount Everest or do you want to climb Pinnacle Mountain? It's up to you which you're going to have to climb either way, but it's up to you how hard you want it to be. So the second point is going from zero to averaging X amount of dollars. When you secure a certified credential, whether it's a journeyman, whether it's a degree, whether it's a vocation, whether it's like a firefighter, police officer, or a beautician, cosmetologist, any of those kind of fields, anything when you go from job to something that's specific, specializing in something, you go from regular pay to averaging X amount of dollars. That's what education can get you. It can get you to the point where you're going to make the average, at least the average of what that field is. And that's why it's important to research the field that you're going into so you can know what the average base pay is for that field. So do your research. Make sure before you go into the field, you know what you're doing. You know what that field entails. Does it fit your personality like I talked about in the last one? And are you willing to be committed to that field for a certain amount of time until it's time to elevate to another level? So always be thinking about what's the next level for me, if you want to think that. My third one is, this is a tough one, is double standards. As an adult, I would tell any youth, any middle-aged adult, me, I'm 41, like 41 and below, the minute that you can understand that there are double standards and there's nothing that you can do about it but work with what you got and what your individual skills and advantages are, the better off you will become as an adult. If you get stuck in double standards, it could make you regress. It'll make you frustrated. Some people, it mess with their mental health because all they see is double standards, and they exist. They're not always negative. There are some negative double standards, sure, but they're not always negative. But you have to understand that just because another individual has a privilege or whatever, however they got it, it may not be the same case for you. Is it fair? No. But can you work around it? Yes. That means you have to find a way to get the advantage and the double standard in your favor. And I'm telling you from experience, times are starting to change. If you have the skill, the will, and you're reliable, a lot of times, man, you'll find out people will start finding you. So don't always look at double standards as a negative, because sometimes some people have the advantage. They have the networking advantage, family ties or whatever. Some people have they know people. Not what you know, is who you know. Some people got to the place without having a degree, but it may not be the same case. It may not be the same case for me, and I understand it. I don't get mad because what I've seen happen is that people who live off those kind of double standards, they end up getting to a place to where they get between a rock and a hard place because they don't have the credentials. They got there by either brown nosing or, because of like a connection. But what happens if that person gets a job because of the double standard of who he knows or family tie, and then the person who brought you in, that person leaves and goes to another company. And now you're there, and you have to now be able to show and prove why you're there. I've seen it happen in real life. People get these jobs because of the family friend, because they know somebody, and then that person that got them the job leaves for another opportunity, and now the company is looking at that person like, okay, it's time for you to show and prove, and you're like, well, you can't because you don't have the skill and you didn't take the time to learn the skill. And what happens is they end up getting up out of there because the company realized that they got in there through a double standard, through a unrealistic kind of connection, and the connection's gone. What do you do when the connection's gone? So that's what you gotta think about. So I don't want to make this video super long, but I just wanted to say that my stance has changed on education. I think you need it. The quicker you can get to it and get it done, the better off you'll be. And you don't have to get a degree. It's up to you. I'm just saying that the climb will be easier, because the thing about Mount Everest, if you go look it up, a lot of people climb Mount Everest, but they don't really make it to the top. And if they do, by the time they do, it's so dangerous and so treacherous that you might not even survive. So think about that. When you don't have a degree, I'm going to say about 70% of the time, especially for minorities, it's almost like climbing Mount Everest. And then those that say, I'm just going to start a business, educate yourself about business. Understanding everything that involves around a business. What's an LLC? What's an S corporation? How do I even file for that? Understanding business financing. Understanding how to do your taxes as a business, or understand what a CPA is. Understanding what a financial advisor is. What's a business plan? What's a business strategy? How do I scale up? You got to think about all those things. Learn all those things. So with that being said, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. And when I make videos, they'll let you know. Thanks for watching the Mike Flair, Mike Motivation. And I am signing out.